What's going on, guys? So I moved to Asheville about 3 months ago, and when I was moving here, I didn't have a lot of references or, many people to talk to about Asheville. So I just wanted to make a video for those people that were thinking about moving to Asheville, um, and the goods and the bads, and the things to do, because a lot of the internet doesn't show you, nearly anything like that. So some of the points that I really liked, that I've been doing since I've been out here, is there's tons of stuff to do outdoors. There's like hiking, there's a huge mountain biking scene. The fishing is amazing. It's some of the best trout fishing you'll ever do. There's camping, there's tons of wildlife out here if you like that. There's like hawks, eagles, bears, beaver, elk, groundhogs. You'll see so much wildlife out here. There's beautiful views everywhere. There's like dozens of waterfalls, lakes, rivers for kayaking and canoeing or boating. The location is pretty nice because you have a lot of surrounding cities, which is awesome. You have Cherokee, which is like an amusement park of a city, and that's maybe like an hour and 20 minutes away. You have Greenville, South Carolina, and that's like another little small hub where you have shopping and restaurants, and you have a Cabela's out there. It's a pretty decently big sized city. You're just a little over 2 hours from Charlotte, which has, nightclubs and museums and tons of music and more lakes and more rivers and more wildlife out there. So it's pretty nice. You're about an hour from Lake James, which there's tons of hiking, and there's the Linville Gorge out there with more waterfalls and more fishing out there, which is amazing. You got Lake Julian. It's in Asheville. It's just a little south, which is like 10 minutes away, which is awesome. Fun little canoeing kind of lake. I have a couple videos actually of me canoeing on Lake Julian, so if you wanted to get like an idea of what that lake is, check out that video. Asheville isn't like a huge city, but it's big enough. It's big enough where you have almost everything that you can need. We have like 2 big malls, and then like a bunch of different like mini malls like surrounded the city, where you have like everything you need. You have like an Express and Buckle and Coach, and you have 2 Whole Foods out here. You have Trader Joe's. You have Earth Fare. Earth Fare is kind of like a Whole Foods, but I think it just started in Asheville, but I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, the downtown scene is pretty fun. They have like bars and little clubs and stuff like that, and there's tons of restaurants everywhere, and it's safe. I haven't found one place that is like sketchy at all, and that was the biggest thing that I was worried about. Everybody on the forums are saying, oh, don't go to West Asheville, or like don't go to like East Asheville or whatever, and people are dumb. I think it's a lot of these people that just don't want newcomers coming in, and they're like mountain folk, so they like try to keep to themselves, and that's an ignorant philosophy, because people are going to know, someplace beautiful eventually, so you can't stop it. And the best thing is, like, all this tourism and like all these new people coming, it's only going to build the city to something great. It's just going to give you more options. There's a couple negative things to the city, which I kind of want to point out. So when you leave the outskirts of the city, you're not going to get a very good cell reception. Like when you go into national forests, and when you go like surrounding cities and stuff like that, you might lose most of your cell service, or you might have just like one bar or something like that. But there's different cell towers that are like always being put up like every couple months or something like that, so cell reception is getting better. Anywhere in the city you're totally fine, but there are a lot of smaller cities just on the surrounding of Asheville where you might have a little bit harder time, like playing videos or something like that, or like trying to get to a website. Websites might just be a little bit slower because of the connection. So those are some things to think about. But it is a very safe city, so that's a really big factor for me when I moved here. And I lived in many different places. I lived in New York, I lived in Nashville, I lived in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, so I know sketchy cities, or sketchy parts of cities, and nothing that I've seen in Asheville is sketchy whatsoever. So jobs is a big thing, where people kept on saying, hey, you better bring your own job or don't come to Asheville. That's idiotic. All right, I don't know why these people are saying, probably more of those ignorant people that just don't want people to come to their city, you know? So there is a lot of medical jobs, there's a lot of banking jobs, there's restaurant jobs everywhere. Everywhere. There's restaurants everywhere. There's, I want to say like 1,200 or 1,300 restaurants in Asheville. It's packed with restaurants. Good, you know, they got casual restaurants, you got fine dining restaurants, you got everything in between. So it's really easy to get a job. I'm a mechanic, and I usually work at like, you know, a restaurant as a bartender or a server or something like that, you know, just to, you know, fill in the gaps. And there's tons of work. People are always looking for, like, you know, restaurant help. Everything from cooks to, like, you know, to-go people or hosts or bartenders. There's always jobs to be had. Not only in the off season or on the, you know, tourist season, but both, you know. For the most part, this city's big enough where it's not, you know, really like only like Florida cities. I used to live in Sarasota. During the summer months, like, no one was there. It was like a ghost town. Asheville really isn't like that. It's supposedly, you know, supposed to be good all year round. And when I came here in March was the off season, I still got a job within 3 days. So it was really easy for me to find a job. As long as you're not like some socially awkward, you know, geek or weirdo or something like that, you're gonna find a job real quick, you know. So you're gonna be able to survive. Just don't, you know, get in the mindset of being like, oh, I only want this one job. You know, be open, be flexible, at least in the first, like, you know, 6 months, so you get that money rolling, and then figure out exactly what you want and, like, kind of go that route. The people here are really, really friendly, really, really nice. Let's see here. Yeah, I pretty much covered most of the stuff. Yeah, the people are real down to earth, real friendly, real nice, real hospitable. You know, you got that southern charm, which is amazing. I actually was thinking about going to either Asheville or I was thinking about going to Charlotte. And I'm glad I picked Asheville because a lot of people have a strong distaste for the people in Charlotte. I don't know if it's because there's a lot of, like, you know, just a different vibe of people in Charlotte. You know, people in Charlotte are, I don't know, I want to say maybe more of like a little more materialistic, which is nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just a different style that people in Asheville don't really kind of, you know, gravitate toward. People in Asheville are very earth conscious. They try to recycle everything. Don't throw your trash on the ground, you know. Make sure that you're, like, you know, picking up after yourself, leaving a low carbon footprint. And that's pretty much just the way the city is, you know. A lot of locally grown food. We got tons of farms out here. We have, I think it's the largest microbrewery city in America right now, per capita. There's amazing beer here, amazing beer here. Everything from, like, you know, IPAs to browns to, you know, red ales, and oh my God, man, so many good beers. But yeah, there's tons of things to do in the city, you know, and around the city. There's a ton of, you know, really cool, charming mountain cities that you should check up on, you know, Google Maps and just see, you know, what's around. And they all have their unique little things about them, you know, which I love. Music is really good here too. If you love music, come to Asheville. Fantastic bands everywhere. Most of them are playing, like, right on the street or playing for free for the most part. Nothing's really super expensive here. The only thing that I noticed was a little bit more expensive here than it was in Austin, Texas, which was my last city, which is an awesome city, by the way. I just lived there for like 16 years, so I was like, I just kind of want something new. The gas prices are a little bit higher out here. You know, in Texas, like, gas is like $2.20 or something like that, and out here it's like $2.80. So, so it is a little more expensive, but the food is basically the same. I think you're getting a better quality of food because there's more farms out here. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, all I wanted to say. If you guys have any questions or comments, or, you know, wanted to ask me something like, hey, you know, what is, you know, the richer part, what is the poorer part, and even in the poorer parts really isn't that bad, you know. This is not a ghetto city at all. And you'll notice that the police are a little rougher out here on the ghetto people. You can just look up videos on that, you know, just police beating up people in Asheville. Like, something's wrong with the police out here. I don't know if they don't have a high budget or something like that, and they're just like running a rampant or something like that. But yeah, there's something shady going on with the cops, I think, out here. And that's one thing that I noticed. Like when I moved here, I had cops following me everywhere because I had an out-of-state license, and they would just like trail me for like 15, 20 minutes, and it would creep me the hell out, you know. And then finally, when I got North Carolina license plates, they stopped, you know. So I don't know what their deal is. Like maybe they just don't like people from out of town or whatnot, you know. But the weird thing is, it's like it's all tourists that come in here. So I don't know if like the police are trying to like get all their money off of like, you know, giving speeding tickets to the tourists or something like that. But I ended up getting a speeding ticket like the first 2 weeks that I got here, and I was going like 45, and the cop said I was doing 66, and I was like, that's crooked. There's something wrong with you, you know. So I ended up getting a lawyer, and I got that dropped. But ever since I got my North Carolina license plates, I've been good to go. So, but that's the only thing like that I had that was a problem here. The rent isn't like, you know, extremely crazy as long as you're like looking for places. Yeah, if you're living in the center of downtown, you're gonna be paying like $1,200 a month, yeah, for a crappy 1-bedroom. But I pay $450, and I live just southeast of Asheville, which is in Fairview, which is like 5 minutes from Asheville. And I love it out here. It's nice, you know, it's super chill. Not too much is going on. And I'm like 10 minutes from everything. You got Walmarts, and every amenity that you can think of is in Asheville. So don't be scared to come out here. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and comment below, and like and share, subscribe, and hope to see you out here someday. Okay? Y'all take care, guys. Bye.